is IFBB Figure Pro Heather Dees, and I love my Species ISO bag. If you want to be like me, go to speciesnutrition.com and order yours today.
Dave Palumbo with RxMuscle.com in the Iron Asylum with Bret Nissen. We are here days out from the 2015 NPC California State Championships. We're here in In-Shape Gym in Brentwood, California. We'll do a little back training pre-contest. Welcome, Bret.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, Bret, you come very highly recommended, and we got this video of you, and I want to be able to introduce you a little bit to the world so people get to see who you are prior to the Cal State. Are you using this Cal State as a warm-up for anything after that?
You know, I'm just going to play it by ear. I personally don't like to think of any shows as a warm-up. Anytime I step on stage, I want to give it 110%. So I'm going all out for this show, and wherever it takes me from there, I'm just going to go from there. I don't have anything in mind after. I'm just going to see how I do, see how I place, and go from there.
Give me a little breakdown, and very briefly, your bodybuilding career history, how you got into the sport, you know, and how we got to the point we're at now.
Well, it's been in my family for a long time. I have an uncle who's the IFBB pro, Gus Malacadonis, and coming up in high school and stuff, you know, is when he got his pro card, and I followed, you know, him and his training, and he trained at my local gym. So it's always been, you know, something I've been around, and I was always in pretty good shape, you know, training and stuff, and I just couldn't never get that first, you know, push to actually get on stage. And finally in 2010, a local competitor at my gym said, "Man, you should really do bodybuilding." And I was a little sketched about it, but I always wanted to. And he came in one day and he got the sign-up sheet for me for the Fresno Classic. So that was kind of the push I needed. And I went and did the Fresno Classic. Didn't have much experience, didn't know, you know, posing, didn't know. I kind of winged it, did everything on my own. And actually Matt, who's helping me this prep, you know, kind of showed me a little bit, but at the time he was just getting into the sport himself, so neither of us really knew a whole lot. And you know, I went up there and I won the overall. I won the novice light heavyweight and the open light heavyweight my first show, and I got beat for the overall though. And so it kind of put a little spark under me. You know, I went up there not thinking, you know, any placing or anything, and ended up doing pretty well. So about 6 months later, I went to the SAC show and won the overall as a novice. And next 2 years, I did the San Francisco and the 2012 Governor's Cup, where I took second in both of those, and both of those were pretty close seconds. Like I think they could have went probably either way, and that was just, you know, that was tough. It was hard 2 times in a row to have that very close second. So in 2013, I came back to the Governor's Cup, and I won the overall. And I was all gung-ho about going to the Nationals right after that show, and my son was born about 6 weeks after the show. And, you know, like I said, right after I won the show, the game plan was prep for the Nationals, and once my son was born, it was definitely a game changer. You know, the sleep and diet and stuff were a little off for a few months, but this will be my first show now since he's been born. I guest posed a couple of times last year when he was alive, and this will be my first show actually as a father. So I'm pretty excited. He'll be 2 in July now, so he's coming to the show. And
now, what's with the belt? I see the belt says Baby Bret.
Long story, man. Well, originally I'm second. I'm a junior. My dad's Bret, so that's kind of where it originated from. But you know, I went to the gym back in when I was first joined, and little girls at the counter said I had a baby face, so they always called me Baby Bret, especially when they saw I was a second. So it kind of stuck with me. I'm 31. I'm 31 now, but it still kind of stuck with me.
Now, is your son's name Bret too?
No, my son's name is Briar.
Oh, okay. So no more Baby Brets.
No.
Talk to me a little bit. You got some serious guns there. You got a great back. We were watching you do some Dorian Yates bent over, I guess you could say reverse grip rows. Talk to me about what you feel works best for your back in terms of size and width.
Not just back, but all muscles in general. I'm, like you said, Dorian Yates. I like the old school, the heavy free weights, compound movements. I mean, I know a lot of people say, it's not how much you lift, it's how you lift it, and machines can isolate the muscles. And I agree. I mean, I do think that those do play a part, but just coming up and training at an old hardcore gym when I was a kid. I grew up around all the heavy squats and deadlifts and rows, and that's just always kind of been my exercises of choice. So I personally try to stick with those as much as I can. This close to the show, obviously the weights are down a little bit, and just because I'm not physically quite as strong as I was a few months back with the diet and cardio and everything. But yeah, I definitely like to do the heavy compound movements as much as possible.
Now, going into this show, preparation-wise, as far as diet goes, what kind of a diet did you follow? Did Matt have you on? And also, how tough is it for you to drop body fat?
Actually, dropping body fat is pretty relatively easy. I stay pretty lean all year. I mean, I'm only probably 15 pounds difference right now, stepping on the stage, and I was all year in the off season. But working with Matt, this was a totally new process for me. As far as I know, he learned everything through you, so I'm assuming it's pretty similar to
Matt Stevenson's. Yeah, Matt Stevenson's my disciple, but then he took what I gave him, I'm sure, and he's modified it. So are you on a relatively low carb diet, or are you on higher because you tend to have fast metabolism?
Well, I mean, the last few weeks it's been relatively low. I think I even stumped him a little bit in the beginning of this prep. I mean, we started out with what he thought was going to be like a bulking diet for me. We started out, with what he thought was high fats and high carbs and stuff, and we actually ended up raising things going into the show because I was kind of dropping or not gaining the way we had planned.
Right.
Yeah, it was totally a learning process for me, and it seemed to work great. There was way more fats than I had ever consumed before, and obviously in your head as a bodybuilder, you're always a little skeptical about trying anything new, but I put my trust in him. I'd seen him prep a few people before, and I'm very happy. I'm 3 or 4 days out right now, and very happy with the end results.
I mean, you look super lean. I mean, is this typical for you on stage to get to this level of body fat?
Yeah, I've came in really good condition like this before. I want to say this is my best conditioning yet, but the thing I'm most impressed with is not only is this my best conditioning as far as I'm concerned, but I won the last show I competed in as a light heavyweight. I was right at 198 on the nose, and I'm gonna be right around 210, 211 probably come this weekend at the Cal. So I put on a good amount of size along with keeping that conditioning. So, and like I said, I fought Matt a little bit in the beginning with the fats and stuff. I was like, man, this just seems contradictory. I'm eating a ton of fat, and it like I said, mentally it seemed a little different, but it seemed to work great. And I told him this the other day. I said, man, sorry I questioned you on anything, dude. I really, it worked out awesome for me.
Yeah, you're absolutely peeled here to the bone, and a lot of people don't realize that fats are integral in losing weight.
Yeah, and Dave, that video was shot about 2 weeks out from the show. I've tightened up, I'd say, substantially since that video. I mean, condition-wise, I think I'm right on point.
Yeah, it's always good to go into a show knowing you're at your best. A lot of guys go into a show saying, I wonder if I'm going to be in shape when I wake up Saturday morning. You kind of know ahead of time, I'm there,
Yeah, no, I was just talking to my fiance tonight, and going into the show, I've never competed in Southern California. I know the Cal brings out, probably some of the best bodybuilders in California just based on the name of it. But me, myself, personally, I know I'm the best I've been. So, I mean, that's really all you can bank on, all you can ask for going into a show. So,
well, congratulations.
I'm going to be 10 or 12 pounds heavier than the last time I competed, and just as good, if not better, conditioning. So, that's pretty happy with that.
Congratulations on the great gains you made this off season and going into this show, and now you get the baby boy who gets to watch you up on stage.
Yeah, that's definitely the highlight of this show for me, man. It was a whole different ball game prepping with a family. I mean, going into my last shows, it was just go to work, eat, sleep, train. And that was it. Now this time it was everything I just said, but then you got to come home and still be a normal guy, normal dad, and everything. And that's definitely a little more challenging, but it's going to be more rewarding too.
You pulled it off.
Yeah. So I don't think I've been too distant.
Well, I expect great things from you at the Cal this weekend. Good luck. For now, we're out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo with Bret Nissen in the Iron Asylum.